Hello you guys and welcome to your weekly card pull. My name is Alexa. I go by alexab.alchemy and today I'm doing a reading for the week of November 12th through November 18th of 2023. This reading is specifically channeled for all of my Capricorns, so if you have predominant Capricorn placements, especially your Sun, Moon, Rising, and or North Node, this one is for you. I do have a few decks out today. I'm going to start out with my Moonology deck. If you're not super into astrology or this stuff like doesn't really resonate with you or is not something that you have spent a lot of time with, do not worry about that. The point is to listen to the main messages. Whatever stands out to you and speaks to you is likely what you're meant to hear. And if you gloss over anything or it doesn't stick, then maybe it wasn't meant for you. So I am going to start out with asking the question I usually ask. My intention with these readings is to help guide and give a little bit of perspective for the week ahead. So if you are feeling at any point throughout the week like you need help processing things or you don't really know where to go or what perspective might be useful for you, this is a really good reading to return to. So while I am shuffling, a couple things to note. I do post these readings every single week, so if you find it helpful, feel free to let me know. Subscribe to the channel, tune in whenever you need a little bit of guidance, especially if you're having a tough week. You can save these videos and, refer back to them as needed. But ultimately, I do produce new content every single week, so that should be helpful. Now, again, my question for you guys, just to start out, is going to be what guidance or perspectives might be useful for you in this upcoming week. These cards will sometimes show me what themes are coming up for you or might be coming up for you. Oh boy, we already have stuff coming up. So just some things that you guys might want to keep in mind. Okay, we got a lot of cards. So I'm going to start out with the ones that came out first. Okay, I pulled a lot of cards in reverse, actually all but one in reverse. So whenever cards are pulled in reverse, they appear upside down. The symbolic meaning behind this, typically with Oracle, is it's usually representative of something that you have potentially some shadow work to do, maybe things that are more internal to you or things that are deeply internal. So things that maybe you're projecting it onto the world around you. And anytime a card is in reverse, it's asking for you to look a little bit more deeply within yourself and your own experience rather than projecting out to the world around you. So just something to keep in mind. If you feel any resistance to these messages, that's likely an invitation for you to just go a little bit deeper. We are in Scorpio season. Scorpio season is a beautiful time to really dig into the depth of your truth, how you feel, what's really there, what's really under the surface, especially when it comes to your emotions and emotionality. So that's something that I want you guys to keep in mind, just in general. So for this week specifically, my dear Capricorns, the first thing that is coming up and it's kind of screaming at me, I pulled New Moon in Taurus in reverse with the main message that prosperity lies ahead. I actually feel called to open up the book for this one and just see if there is anything in specific that wants to be read, because I'm feeling like there's like a passage or something that is going to stand out for you guys. Okay, so this card will often, I'm just going to read directly what's coming up. This card will often come up when you're inquiring about a financial matter or when you're doubting your self-worth. Because it was in reverse, I do have a feeling that for a lot of you, this might be a little bit more pertinent to your sense of self and your self-worth. Ultimately, however, Taurus is an earth sign and it is kind of speaking to our possessions. Those possessions can be material possessions, but it can also be the things that we view as uniquely ours. So like unique aspects of ourself or our personality. So just something to keep in mind. This card suggests that you can have what you want, including material things, but you must believe in yourself. This comes down to the laws of attraction. Value yourself and others will value you too. You can create abundance. I don't know why I said abunctious. This card can also signal the start of a new relationship or more, it says sexier times. If you've been wrestling with something for a long time, the new moon in Taurus is a sign to not give up just yet. So there are some messages here around like new things blossoming, exciting new things are going to bring a level of energy to you, or that you're going to bring a level of energy to. It's also really important though in this stage that you're being attentive to what your deep-seated values are, how you feel about those things, what's really coming up for you, what's really important for you in those regards. This can translate to the financial side of life. This can be encouraging you to like set a standing order to a savings account, no matter how small. So really making sure that if your value is, some kind of like longevity, I'm getting the word longevity and sustainability pretty strongly with this one today. So if that is your goal, making sure that you're taking little incremental steps that align with that value over time. If you're noticing that like small actions are not aligning with that value, that's going to eventually create a level of like a tear for you. I can't think of the word. There's like an image I'm getting of like something kind of like fragmenting. And there are pieces of you that are going to feel fragmented if you are not consistent with the things that you feel that you have a value on. So just make sure that you're being attentive to those things, my dear Capricorn. Next thing that is calling out to me, I'm going to actually skip around a little bit. We're going to go here first. So new moon eclipse in reverse, expect powerful change. So in the upright position, she looks like this. All right. So for those of you who are not super tuned in with astrology, something to keep in mind, anytime there is a new moon or new moon energy, that is an energy that is representative of the beginning of a cycle, planting seeds, things beginning, because it's also a new moon eclipse, and eclipses can show us aspects of our shadow, and I pulled this in reverse. I do feel like taking the time to really observe the depth of your experience and the depth of what you're feeling and the depth of your heart is going to, and also your values, I feel like that's going to come out in a way that will likely cause some changes. Changes are really a scary thing for a lot of people, but it is ultimately the nature of life. So there is, I believe, a subtle encouragement here for you to like be willing to go through that emotional process, that emotional journey of really understanding yourself. And I think it will eventually lead to the places that align more strongly with what you actually truly want, like on a very deep level. I want to see if I can find this damn card. What's going to come up? Okay. We just went to a totally different place there. All right. This actually feels sort of similar thematically. If you want affirmation that you can achieve your dreams, get the desired outcome in a situation you're asking about, this is it. This is a card of beginnings, and there are powerful energies at work. Be prepared. It can be quite a ride. As noted, there's going to be a lot of emotions, maybe some turbulence. And events could be drawing and uncomfortable. However, any new directions you take will almost always lead somewhere better than where you are at the moment. So whatever is happening now is happening for a reason that you will appreciate later on, even if in the thick of it you were like, what the actual fuck is all of this? Next thing I'm feeling called to pull up for you guys, nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable boon also in reverse. So there is definitely an element of change and the ability to change. And also there's like, I feel like for some of you there's like a finality that you're experiencing that doesn't necessarily, it might not actually line up with reality. Like I feel like there is this aspect or this component of life that you have the ability to change. Like there's this impermanence that you might be looking at and being like, this is how this will always be. This is how this will always feel. And again, to expect powerful change is to understand that at the end of the day, like there are certain things that you can influence. I'm getting actually this prosperity lies ahead card again. So for some of you, this may pertain to your financial situations. If you're feeling stuck or you're feeling like, oh, I'm not in a position where I'm making the money that I want to make or saving the money that I want to save. If you're willing to, again, realign with your values and really dig deep on what those are and make the changes accordingly, I do feel that for a lot of you, it will potentially shift the course in a way that's going to be ultimately really beneficial for you. A couple more things here. Fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. So there is definitely, like I said, I'm getting the word finality, but in a very different way. Like there are some chapters closing, some things ending, some things shifting in and out of your life or changing form. So that powerful change, my dear, I think honestly that's just all part of the journey. Really what that's coming down to is it's all part of the journey. Encouragements with this, encouragement to have faith in your dreams. Again, these are all in reverse. So in the upright, this card looks as such. So there's definitely a level of like staying power, standing power, and willpower. Those are the words that are coming through right now. So I think because of the tumultuous nature of aspects of things that you might be going through, it might be pulling away from your ability to have faith in the longer term picture, the longer term goal, etc. And if that is the case, just know that, again, like powerful changes are at play. Nothing is yet set in stone. So yes, there is finality in the way of like things shifting, but no, there's not finality in the way of like those things shifting into what they're shifting into now will not always be right there either. So that is just something to honor and love and keep in mind. Okay. 2 more things that I want to bring up for you. Void of course moon in reverse, nothing is yet set in stone. We're going to go back to the book on this one. So there is, again, a lot of changes, a lot of changes that you likely are going to be experiencing. We are coming towards the end of Scorpio season, so the deeper Scorpio is usually indicative of like deeper aspects of our consciousness, our awareness, our feelings. It can also bring up issues that are a little bit more taboo, so things like sex, money, taxes, shared resources, death, like things that just aren't always talked about or are viewed with like a certain light. Those might be coming up a little bit more for you right now. Okay, going back to this card though, that was kind of an aside, but going back to this card, this has a few encouragements. One of them is that there is something better around the corner. So a situation that you're in right now, if it feels like it's not bearing the fruits that you want, if it feels like when you are digging deep and you are checking in with the things that you really want, when you're really checking in with your values, it feels like if those things are still not bringing you a level of satisfaction, ultimately you can close out in those. You can change the course of what's happening. You can ultimately get to the things that you want, having faith in your dreams. Ultimately, like it's not an impossibility to get to that point. With that being said though, if you do feel like situations you're in are sticky or they're just like not serving that greater purpose, or you're feeling stuck in them, or you keep going back to them, or there's like this level of like, I don't know why the word obsession is coming up, but something that's really like just causing you to live out of alignment with the deeper and greater values, just know that like believing that overall you will get the things that you need to arrive at the destination that you want to arrive at. Why is this not blurring or focusing? Just because it doesn't want to. Ultimately though, it's important that you keep in mind that the situation that you're in right now, if it is falling away or has fallen away or will be falling away, is likely doing so in order to open up and create space for the thing that you actually want to come into your life. So that is something to keep in mind. Finally, my dears, final message of encouragement from this deck. Full moon in Scorpio, it is time to release negativity. I pulled this card in the upright position, so woohoo. I love this one, giving us a little bit more of like a strong positive direction, if you will. Also feeling called to go back to the book on this one. So Scorpio, again, like really big themes of letting go. Scorpio energy, I really like to talk about the animals. So in astrology, there are animals that represent different signs. Scorpio actually has 3. There is the scorpion, which is the more vindictive side of Scorpio. Because Scorpio is a water sign, it's all about emotions. And when you're stuck in the midst of emotionality, sometimes that can come out in a little bit more of a biting way. So the scorpion, as presented in this card, is one way to represent this energy. However, there is also the eagle, which has the ability to kind of discern and to see like, this is something that is important to me, or like to kind of laser in. So really being able to like laser in on things from an emotional perspective, being able to laser in on emotions, which can, in the negative side, come out a little bit harshly. But in the more positive aspect, it gives you the ability to like really see and feel and experience the depth of your emotions. Finally, with Scorpio energy is also represented by the phoenix. So the ability to die and be reborn. If you think about the seasons and the way that life happens on almost every single level, something will die, it will fertilize the ground, and that eventually does bring new life. So closing of seasons, changing of seasons, starting of new seasons, like this is all really heavy Scorpio energy in general. And to have that Scorpio energy and then a full moon, which is the encapsulation of climaxes, things coming to an end, maybe things falling away that really didn't serve the ultimate, that don't serve like, so at a new moon, I'm gonna back up. At a new moon, you set your intentions for a cycle. At a full moon, you will see either things coming to fruition or things falling away that do not serve that deeper intention that you have set, or that, you know, is meant for your life. So when we have full moon in Scorpio, there is definitely an energy of like something is being released, something is being let go of, and your encouragement is to focus on the thing that you're releasing being any negativity that's getting in your way. So per the book, if you've been feeling paranoid and acting weird, take this card as a very direct message from the cosmos to stop it. This seems really important for someone. Stop it. Worrying yourself is pointless. It's time to release any negativity you have around a situation you're asking about or that's coming up for you. If there's something coming up for you in your mind right now, that's probably what it's talking about. Just going to be straightforward about that. If someone has been unkind to you, perhaps it's time to release them. This card heralds an emotionally intense time. Since both the full moon and Scorpio themselves are extremely intense, it is time for you to feel all your feelings. So any feelings that are coming up, don't shove them down, don't push them away, like allow those to come up. There could be some nastiness either from you or from other people. If that's the case, that's okay. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, the vindictive side of Scorpio is it looks at and feels all of the different elements and aspects of emotionality. But if it feels toxic, this is your sign to start moving away from that, whether that is a person or an aspect of yourself or a situation that's causing you to show up in a toxic way. Like that's something that is ultimately something that you're going to want to move away from, because that vindictive nature, that vindictive side of things is ultimately not going to serve, in the longer term or the bigger picture. For others, Scorpio energy being things that are taboo, there is also kind of an encouragement that maybe your sex life will improve, or there will be some more like depth of experience in your romantic life in some way, shape, or form. So for some of you, kudos, congratulations, something to look forward to. And it's up to you to experience that. But either way, it is a depth of emotion that's going to be experienced in one way or another. Finally, it is time to move from living fearfully to living joyfully. So if things are bringing up suspicions, grudges, anger, whatever, and that's causing you to live in a state of fear, it's causing you to contract, that is something to keep in mind that maybe you should release. If you are experiencing things that are causing you to open and to be excited and to feel like a liveliness, like a vibrational liveliness, I don't know why those words came through, but that's what did, then this is a really, really beautiful time, my dear. This is a really beautiful week for you to step into that state of joy, because it's there for you and it's there for you for a reason. You have the opportunity to do so if that's what feels good to you and feels right to you. Even if in that process you feel like things are falling away, you feel like you don't know what's going on or you don't have a bunch of clarity, but ultimately if you can be aligned with your deeper values and an understanding of like the things that you want, these powerful changes that are happening, these shifts that are occurring, ultimately they're going to lead you to the place that your higher self is calling for you to go to. So I'm actually feeling to call right at the end, I just like lose my words. I'm feeling called to close out with that. I did have a couple of other decks, but I don't really feel called to move into tarot today, and the other oracle deck I feel like will just kind of reiterate the same message. So I'm going to keep it brief. She says it like 18 minutes. So I'm going to close out there. But if you have any questions on anything, want some further clarification, please reach out and let me know. You can find me here, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere at alexab.alchemy. I do these readings, like I said earlier, every single week free of charge. So if you need the guidance, please feel free to tune in. And if you want a little extra support specific to you, I'm always here for that. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, for sharing your energy and sharing your time. If this resonated, please feel free to let me know. You're welcome to share stories or just let me know like, hey, this one hit today. And I would be very delighted to hear that. So with all that being said, thank you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.